Well, thank you very much, everybody. We very much appreciate it. This is a big afternoon. They all are, in a way, because all of these things that we do are very important. This afternoon, I'm thrilled to sign a historic executive order expanding access to high-quality retirement savings accounts for millions of Americans. In my State of the Union earlier this year, I promised to make the same types of retirement accounts enjoyed by the federal employees available to all Americans. So that's what we're doing. It only seemed fair. It's really a tremendous situation for all Americans. That was really much promises made. As I say, promises kept. I'm thrilled to be joined by incredible people that I know and the warriors. Jason Smith, these are Congress people. Brian Stile, Mike Carey, Lloyd Smucker, Bill Heisinger, Ryan McKenzie, John McGuire, Zach Nunn, Derek Van Orden, Jeff Crank, Nick Begich, Monica De La Cruz, and Mike Lawler.
All right, let's pause from the big squeeze speaking right quick. I'll call Donald Trump the big squeeze because he knows how to bring it in. All right, so one thing that we got to understand with regards to retirement, right? First of all, we got to understand that enough Americans do not have enough save for retirement. And when they try to get back into the workforce, one of the things that they face is age discrimination. All right, so enough Americans don't have enough save for them to ultimately retire. And what you see happening is them having to be re-enter the workforce in order to take care of themselves. Social Security only provides, I believe, somewhere in between $2,000 and $3,000. The benefits of having an IRA account is that the IRA asset is not counted as an asset towards Social Security, so it does not take away from your Social Security. But let's get on the age discrimination, right? Because more and more United States citizens, right, are not able to accomplish the purchase of a home at the age of 40, which means that there are a lot of individuals who are still renting at this age, who will be still renting by the time that they reach retirement age, or if they are not renting, they will still be paying down on the mortgage because, like I said, you're not being able to, in the United States at the moment, the average person is not being able to buy a house until the age of 40, and you have a 30-year mortgage. You're still probably going to be paying down on your mortgage until you reach about 70 years old. So here we are. We have this thing to where we have age discrimination. Why are we going to face age discrimination? We're going to face age discrimination because, one, we have too much experience. This experience would cause the employer to have to pay that much more for you in order to bring that experience into their workforce, into their labor force, so that they can use your knowledge as an asset to drive the company forward. Another one that we have is that age discrimination because we want a more younger workforce to participate in the type of job that we have available. And so it hits on two different levels. Not only are the United States citizens already facing this type of, I don't want to, in this instance, I'm not talking with regards to age discrimination or discrimination at all. In a sense, I am and I'm not. But for the participation in the workforce, because you have immigrants who are coming over and are able to be a lower cost to the bottom line of employers within itself. So even if you're not of retirement age, it's harder to find employment or have a livable wage as well when you have immigrants coming over to this country and wanting to work for less. And not only do they want to work for less, because of these jobs, Americans are less likely to get on the job experience because the position pool is that much more higher. And with so much of it being available, now the criteria to enter into these jobs is that much more higher. So that entry level experience that Americans used to be able to get, right? Or excuse me, that on the job experience that Americans used to be able to get just if you had the drive to go out here and work hard and pursue a career, necessarily in a lot of industries, Americans are not able to get that experience no more. Just fill out the application. You'll get interviewed by an employer, and here you are. If he see that he believes that you have a good work ethic, or that you have the drive during that interview to possibly do the work that needs to be done, he'll give you a shot. In industries today, that's less likely to happen when it comes to getting a job with a livable wage. So immigration has hitting the United States workforce on so many different levels, and I just got to bring that up. And I want to bring this up because, in a sense, that while the rhetoric on Donald Trump with regards to immigration has been so harsh, here is the instance where you can see, like me, he is being pragmatic about the situation. One thing that I don't like racism. Like, I'm not a racist person. I'm just about what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. But once I get a stench that you are that way, I have no love, respect, no nothing for you. However, he does understand that immigrants have come to this country willing to work hard. So with these IRA accounts, these Trump IRA accounts, still, he gives these people the availability of participating in these accounts. And all you have to do is have a tax identification number, ITIN number, right? Just like a social security number. So he offers he offers immigrants with the possibility of participating in these accounts too. So why it's an idea that he's against immigration? No, he just against certain types of immigration, right? And that is the illegal immigration, right? But if you want to come to the United States to be a benefit to the United States, he is more willing to let you in if these particular workforces need you in terms of filling the gap that is needed in America at that time. I'm going to continue to allow him to speak with regards to to these accounts, these IRA accounts, and then I will give you some more information.
Warriors, every one of them, they're great people. They fought very hard for what we're about to sign. And since my election, the stock market has set 59, this is in a little bit more than a year, 59 all-time record highs, adding $9 trillion in value to really the value of our country, if you think about it. Under 4 years of Biden, the average 401k rose at a rate of just $875 a year. Last year under Trump, the average 401k balance was up $24,000. So $875 versus $24,000, I would say that's pretty good.
Take it.
This is really incredible. The numbers are incredible. The numbers being invested in our country are more incredible than anything. You see it. There are plants being built all over the USA. We have auto plants, not just AI. AI is doing great. We're leading China by quite a bit. But we have auto plants being built all over the country. They're coming back from Canada. They're coming back from Mexico, Germany, Japan, South Korea. Wherever they build autos, they're coming here.
And I want to bring this up just as what he's saying, an example as all the jobs are leaving and we're going to other nations. And here we having immigration into this country and not being on a quota system to suppress it a little bit so that the American citizen can have an opportunity while jobs are leaving the country. The American citizen is finding it that much harder to find the jobs, and you have immigrants, whether legal or illegal, coming over here into this country, not respecting the fact that of the compassion that we have given to them to allow them to come into the country in the first place, and not for the compassion of those who have illegally come in, but for those that we have compassionately let in to the system. Like, just take a moment and look and think about what America has given up in being compassionate to you. You know what I'm saying? The jobs that are not being filled by Americans, and that the immigrant is filling, and the illegal immigrant is filling, and it's being worked as a pipeline, because here you are, you have these individuals wanted to hire people that look like them. Look at the hospitality industry. Look at the restaurant industry, right? For instance, look at 7-Elevens with the Indian population. Look at and beauty supplies and nail salons with the Asian populations, and the mom and pop donut stores with the Asian population. You know what I'm saying? Look at Los Angeles right now with all the mechanics. Man, it's like hard to find a Black American mechanic in Los Angeles right now. Sometimes, I generally like to work on my own cars anyway. But however, all these industries that have been taken away from the United States citizen, right? And it's not to the point that the United States citizen don't want the jobs, right? But it's that the work pool is being flooded, so much so that it's getting harder and harder to get into these jobs when jobs are leaving the United States, and so much immigration is coming in. And then they don't have the respect to respect the United States citizen at the same time, and kind of want to boast about how they have gotten over on this.
Nobody ever thought they'd see that. The union loves me. I did very well with the auto workers, but they like me a lot more now than they did when I was just talking about it. Beginning at the start of next year, every American will be able to go to TrumpIRA.gov and open a new low-cost IRA account. You'll then be able to access the same type of retirement accounts that federal employees enjoy through the thrift savings plans, which are incredible. As part of the Federal Savers Match Program, low-income Americans will be eligible to receive up to $1,000 per year in matching funds deposited directly into their accounts. It's a great thing.
So this particularly, what he regards to right now is for the low income people. So those people who are not making over about $35,000 a year, and for couples who are not making over $71,000 a year, these people have access to these accounts because, like I said, it's a big problem right now with the United States citizens being able to save for their retirement and not having to go back into the workforce once they've hit that age of 65 to find some more employment to take care of themselves, where they would be more likely to face some form of age discrimination. So with these accounts, if you were to just put away $165 at the age of 25 and continue to do that until you're 65 years old, so that's from 25 to 65, you're roughly estimated to have somewhere around $465,000 put away for your retirement. Now, this does not count as an asset towards Social Security. So you would still be able to receive your Social Security benefits, which is roughly anywhere between $2,000 and $3,000. So what he does, the government is doing, is going to match you $1,000 for each year. So if I was to do the math, that would be somewhere. How much would that be? If you put in about $2,000 a year, for instance, the government is going to match you $1,000 into these RA accounts. Now, this has nothing at the moment. What was he talking about has nothing to do with moderate income people. He has to go to Congress for the moderate income contributions, because a lot of times these employers are not providing employer contributions into these retirement accounts. And as well, if they do have an IRA, such as a traditional traditional IRA or a self-employed IRA or a Roth IRA, or what other type of IRA are there? There's a simple IRA, right? This is a new federal IRA, right? And there is no there is no separation between them. So you can't put, if you have two IRAs, you can't put you can't contribute to two different IRAs thinking that the federal government is going to contribute to both IRAs. No, it's the combination of these IRAs that the government will give you that $1,000 match for your contributions as their contributions, as a federal contributions in working towards your retirement. This is not going to take away from Social Security at all. He's not trying to get rid of Social Security with this whole idea of the federal IRA. It's just becoming harder and harder for United States citizens to find employment. That's why he wants 100% of the new employment for that's coming into this country to be for a United States citizen and not for immigrant or illegal immigrant. And he's gotten it down from it being immigrant or illegal immigrant a lot, somewhere between 100 and 99% of the new jobs that are coming to this country are being for the United States citizen, which is important because, like I said, so many jobs are being outsourced, while at the same time, so much immigration was coming in, right? Let me let him talk about this so that we can then begin to get on to what he's trying to do with the moderate income people.
For millions of Americans who lack employer-sponsored plans, this will be really revolutionary because they'll be covered. Nobody thought that was possible. For example, if a 25-year-old who is eligible for a Savers Match program invests just $165 a month under the matching federal contributions, they will have an estimated $465,000 in their account by the time they're 65 years old. In other words, they'll be rich. And there's something awfully nice about that. But this is only the first step. I was talking to Kevin Hassett a little while ago, and the people standing right behind me, we're going to take it to the next level. And the next level, Kevin, you're going to mention something, but the next level will be necessary to have congressional approval. What you just heard, we don't need congressional approval. And it'll never be terminated, because to terminate it, if somebody else is in office, to terminate it, you'd have to take that money away. You'd have to really take away something that's so positive. I don't think any politician would do it.
A correction that SSI won't count this as an asset until you begin to withdraw from your IRA. All right. So once you begin to withdraw from your IRA, SSI Social Security Administration will count this as an asset for your Social Security income.
But to take it to the next level, we need congressional approval, which should be very easy to get. It should be bipartisan. Normally it would be bipartisan, but today nothing's bipartisan, right? I mean, it should be something that everybody supports. So, Kevin, before we start, maybe you could just explain what we're talking about for the next level.
Right. So for the next level, sir, what we're already talking, Chairman Smith and I about, and I've been talking with Mr. Smucker about this for a number of years, is that we're going to expand this program that you're creating here, which is for low-income people, to middle income people and maybe above as well, so that every American, most high-income people have an employer that gives them a 401k with a match, but low-income people or Uber drivers or something, they don't have access to that. They don't have access to the match. What you've done here is you've given the match to low-income people with incomes below $35,000. But we think that there are a lot of people even who make more than that don't have many assets for retirement, and so we're working with Congress to significantly expand this program and are looking forward for legislation this year to expand this.
So the maximum contribution, if you're under that, the federal government will contribute is $7,000. All right, if you over 50, then it will be $8,000. in terms of the federal contributions into these IRA accounts.
And also the Trump accounts, you remember, with
And that is per year, 7,000 per year, 8,000 per year, 8,000 per year if you're over 50, and 7,000 per year if you're under 50. But this at the moment is for the low income people.
Michael Dell and Susan and the group that we had are setting records.
We have
the
5 million signups right now, sir.
5 million signups in a short period of time, far above what we thought even possible. So congratulations to everybody that got that started. Michael Dell put in $6,250,000,000. That's a lot. He put in a lot of money, and he's going to do more too. But they were very responsible. So I just want to let you know it's like record. You are even surprised by that number, I think, right?
Hey.
I don't know if we can do that kind, but it's really way beyond what anyone thought. It's great. And we're going to be doing the same thing, I guess, in a certain way for older people.
For grown-ups.
We're going with a plan that if it works, has to get approved by Congress. But
That's right.
we think it'll get approved. It'll be fantastic for the country. Let's go. Will, do you want to
sir.
start? We
Sure.
have some other things, and we thought we'd let these great people from Congress and beyond, or below, I guess I could say.
So first, sir, this is the IRA executive order that you just mentioned. This
Okay.
establishes the retirement accounts with the federal match for eligible people, as you said in your speech and as Kevin explained. This is a big step forward. It's going to provide access to high-quality retirement accounts to a lot of Americans who don't currently have access to such accounts.
Okay. There it is. That's nice.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll do some that aren't associated with this, and then we'll talk about this with the press. You'll ask some questions of.
Okay, so like I was saying, this is a big hurrah for the American people at the moment because, like I said, we're facing a lot of age discrimination, and this has nothing. He's being pragmatic about the situation and allowing the people who have come over here legally the opportunity to participate in these programs too. So if you're a green card holder, if you're a visa holder who has work and that works and pays taxes, if you're a non-citizen with an individual taxpayer identification number, and still, even if you're an undocumented worker with a individual taxpayer ID number, you still can apply for this. So while it seems that he's so much against illegal immigration, and why the rhetoric from the left is that he's has this idea against a certain demographic of people. No, it's just about what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, and I'm about what's right is and what's wrong is wrong as well. So y'all need to, pretty much the left side need to take out the rhetoric. Stop with this idea of attack, trying to destroy this man for everything that he is trying to do for the country, and particularly in looking out for the United States citizen in their elder years. I think it's a pretty good job. You can go to TrumpIRA.gov and look up these accounts. It's supposed to start January of 2027. Did I miss anything out? The moderate Inc. The thrift saving plans is supposed to go to Congress. It looks good right now with the Democrats losing so many seats as they has racially gerrymandered the entire country. Something that has been about the black experience, and a lot of people who have immigrated into this country don't even realize that they are able to participate in the system in this country, so much so when that particular law was to benefit Black Americans, and you have individuals in office right now who are able to be, whether congressmen, assemblymen, senate, or whatever, be able to be representative for their constituency, which I think is a problem. For their constituency, from people of foreign lands, and are able to participate based on the Voting Rights Act of 1965. So this applies to everyone who has a job in this nation, while he seems to be so much on the attack and against these people. I want to go over to something else, because he has this whole idea with regards to no tax on Social Security. Just to let you know that he's absolutely not trying to take away Social Security with this. This is just a continuation of already the IRA rules. But it gives for a person who doesn't have an employer who wants to contribute that much more into the person's retirement, with the ability to do so, and have the federal government being more of assistance to that. I think is a perfect idea. So let me go on to this no tax on Social Security idea. Well, I'm gonna let someone speak for Donald Trump at the moment, right? This is about Donald Trump, but this has really nothing to do with the, like I said, the IRA accounts. So let's draw attention to Dr. Phil.
We're also joined by very much of a legend. He's really an amazing, he straightens you out mentally, probably has his own problems, but we don't have to know about that. But we've all grown up watching him. I've watched him for so many years. I did his show before the election, and I thought I was sort of doing him a favor by doing him the show. I said, I'm hotter than he is. Why the hell should I do a show? But I did it, and I have never had such a response as I had on that show. Where's Dr. Phil? Are you here? Come here. Come here, Dr. Phil. No, I did his show. Wow. Come on up here, Dr. Phil. Get up here. Give them a little lecture, but very short. Give them a little lecture on life. Talk about life for 2 minutes or less.
Well, hello. I had a different reaction than the president when I told my wife I was coming to the villages. She said, oh, no, no, not without me, you're not. Those people are crazy partiers. She says, Robin says, give you her love. She really wanted to be here, but we have grandchildren, so I'm now 5th in line. By the way, Mr. President, I've given that cognitive test that he took. I used to administer those, where you give them 9,000 divided by 2, 6, 7. I recall one guy did that about the president's age. Took about 6 minutes to go through it. I said, so what's your answer? He said, a small wire-haired terrier. So great that he got that done. No kidding. Listen, I really do want to take a chance to talk about this a little bit, because what the president is doing here is really something you got to think about differently. He's restoring trust between Americans and the government, because you understand you understand that this was, your benefits were never supposed to be taxed to begin with. That was the deal the American government made with the American people. And from 1935 until 1983, that was the deal. And then they changed the deal. That wasn't what you started with. That wasn't the deal. And President Trump is trying to bring the deal back and say you can trust your government to do what they tell you they will do. President Trump is fighting to restore trust between Americans and the government. And he's trying to right a wrong here. One of the things that President Trump does is he tries to solve problems that nobody else is even working on. They're not even working on this stuff, and he's solving those problems. He's solving the problems other people that they're not even working on. This taxation is double. It's double taxation. Workers pay their 6.2% with after-tax dollars and then are taxing them again, which is patently unfair. You're paying taxes twice.
You paying taxes twice. You paying taxes when you are working, then you're paying taxes when having this Social Security. So no tax on Social Security. When you receiving that Social Security, here you are, you getting taxed again. How is that supposed to work when you paid into the system in order for it to work so it can take care of you during your retirement age in the first place? I want to get more updates to how this is going to work, right? I want to allow Dr. Phil to talk with regards to the mindset of Donald Trump, because there's a lot of rhetoric and push to degrade the man in his sense of character when it comes to how he views people. I mean, listen, the guy got Marco Rubio as Secretary of State right now. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't care. He just only wants you to be passionate for the country and not have your allegiance to others and not defraud the country, embarrass the country as a laughing stock, which is a lot of that that's going on right now.
And he's not willing to say that. And seniors are vulnerable because you have fixed incomes and no ability to earn your way out of a broken tax promise for a tax burden. And he's fighting for that so you don't have to do that. And I think everybody should recognize he's fighting for something you can't fight back for. And that is so important. And it's really critical that this simplifies everything. And people will say, well, it's going to cost money. That was the deal. That was why they changed the deal. It didn't have anything to do with taxes. It had to do with trying to increase revenue. If we'll just let him go track down the fraud money, it'll more than pay for this 10 times over. It will more than pay for this to stop the fraud in America. Stop the fraud in America. And here's a little reminder. Here's a little reminder in case your mind is playing tricks on you. You matter. You are important, and you are important to this president. I know him, and you are important to this president. And I will tell you a quick story. We win. The end. You know, I've spent most of my life, certainly as a professional, actually since I was 12 years old, studying why people do what they do and don't do what they don't do. And I can tell you that in studying that, I have found out what makes people champions. And I know what makes him a champion. I can tell you, people that are champions play the game with passion. They play the game with passion. They surround themselves with like-minded people who understand why they feel so strongly about what they do. They tell themselves the truth. They deal with the truth when it comes up. And I didn't come down here just to stand up and say a few things and get a little golf clap from everybody and say nice speech. I wanted to come down here because I want you to remember what I'm saying about President Trump and not getting taxed on your Social Security benefits and about his leadership. I want you to remember that on May 1st, the bald guy came up and told you that this is important and we've got midterms coming up and you need to make sure that not only you vote, but find 10 people and make sure that they vote. Because we have a president that stopped apologizing for America and started taking pride in this country. I don't want you to just hear me. I don't want you to just hear me and give me a little golf clap. I want you to hear me and say, on this day, we decided we are marching for the USA. We are marching for the USA, and we are marching for this president. March for the USA. March for the USA.
Man, that sums it up right there. You know, where else can you go in any other country and just abuse the crap about it? But yet and still, he has compassion enough for the immigrant to allow them to participate in these new Trump IRA accounts as the Democratic Party continues to assault this man's character. He knows the value of work, and unlike the Democratic Party, who wants to shut down the government, is willing to pay people for the work that they do. In this instance right here, he's being an example of that because he doesn't have to do this for undocumented people. He can disqualify undocumented people from allowing them to participate in the Trump IRA contributions. The Trump IRA federal contributions into their IRA accounts. Tiny Cross-H.U.G on the Trumped Up Live Show. Always remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. We need to kind of die down on the rhetoric and the attacks, and, to see what it is. And it's not that our leadership is supposed to dictate where we are going with regards to a nation. Is that we put him in place because we feel that he can do the best job to do so. If we should need to have a little bit more faith in this man, instead of just shooting darts at the 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 darts. And understand, if you do your education, man, and I'm telling you, if you watch this show, you do your education, you educate yourself, you're going to have a lot more understanding of that passion that he has. This is why this is called the Trumped Up Live Show, so we can read through the rhetoric. Tiny Cross-H.U.G on the Trumped Up Live Show, man. Always remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It is a good day to be a soldier.
We are the essence of God's image. We are the representation of God's love for his creation.